All right, I think I'm live. Hey, it's Ilika. Hello, hello, hello. Um, anyone if you when you join, if you don't know me, I'll introduce myself. But go ahead and like the video and subscribe. I will be talking today about how to flatten the stomach, right? Because it's something that most people want to do. Frankly, after babies, all those things, we think, oh my goodness, I can never have a flat stomach again. And so we want to figure out how to get that stomach flattened. What do we do? What are the tools? What are techniques? What do we do to get to flatten the stomach again, right? I'm Ilika. I'm a mom of four. I've got four kids, married, and I was able to flatten my stomach after four kids and four C-sections without surgery, right? So I want to tell you guys how I did it and how I help my clients do it because it becomes so important in the process. Because frankly, we want to lose weight for health, of course, right? But we also, hi Jessica, we also want to lose weight for aesthetics, right? We want to feel better and like the way we look in the mirror and all those things, right? So we talk about health all the time. Yes, it's important. Yes, we help reverse type 2 diabetes for folks. We help people with their inflammation so they can get their bodies back and feel good again, right? Hi, good to see you too. I'm here. So I want to let you guys know I do lives every Wednesday now. Pop on between 1:30 and 2. I have a meeting right before this with my students, so I always want to make sure that, and sometimes that runs late, so that's why we can start a little later. But we want to lose weight many times for health and things like that, right? Reduce the blood pressure, get off of medications, reduce cholesterol, reverse type 2 diabetes, all those things, right? It's so important. But we also want to lose the weight for aesthetics. We want to feel good again. We want to look good again. We want to like the way we look, right? We want to like what we see in the mirror. That becomes just as important, honestly, in many ways as health. Because frankly, it can drive you sometimes even more than the health stuff can. When we look in the mirror and we're like, oh my gosh, I need to get back to me, that drives us. So let's talk about, I want to give you guys some tips on how to flatten the stomach, right? So we see videos all the time, people showing, hardcore ab workouts and oh my goodness, do this workout and you'll get abs like Chloe Ting, I think it's the woman's name, and do this and you'll have flat abs and all these things, right? So people try it. You're planking all day, you're doing a million sit-ups, you're doing all the things, and it's like, hold up, I look the same. you know, like that was me. I remember after my first son, I think it was, my stomach was like, it was like those rolls that did this. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it did this, right? And so I was like, oh my goodness, this is awful, right? And so I was, boom, 1,000 sit-ups a day, right? I'm planking, all the time. I felt like I was doing those plank challenges. If you were around like 2008 or something, people were plank challenging all the time. I don't know why, it was ridiculous. But anyways, I was like always trying to do planks and do whatever I could to like, flatten my stomach, right? Nothing's happening. Nothing at all, right? Meanwhile, I don't even want to talk about how my husband could do 4 sit-ups and have abs 5 minutes later. But but yeah, I would do all that and nothing's happening. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm never gonna get my flat stomach again. And I remember back when my mom used to do sit-ups all the time. Like I remember sitting on her feet and she would come up and she'd be doing all these sit-ups, right? And so I thought, and nothing ever happened for her either. Like it didn't help to flatten her stomach. Poor thing. My poor mother. She's 5'4" and had a bunch of 9 and 10 pound babies. And so all of us were huge. Like her stomach was sticking out so far she couldn't even cook, right? She couldn't reach the stove to cook. Like that's how far her stomach stuck out. Because she's small and she was petite, and boop, nope, she couldn't reach the stove. So that was her situation. So of course her stomach did not come back to the perfect flat stomach she had prior to having kids. So she was always doing sit-ups, hope in hopes that something would change. And so I was doing the same thing. After my first son, after my second son, after my third son, all these sit-ups, hoping something would change, and nothing was happening. That's when I realized that it was way more than just the sit-ups. Like nutrition was going to play as big of a factor in this as the exercise. Actually, more of a factor. Here's the other thing. People think that many times we think that if we're doing the sit-ups, and we're I mean, if we're losing weight, that we're automatically going to lose the stomach. How many times have you seen someone lose the weight and then but they can't seem to shrink their waistline, they can't seem to flatten the abs, right? And everyone always thinks, oh, it's hereditary. It's not hereditary. No one in my family has like abs. It's just not. It's not right. It's not what they did. It's not what we do. It's not how we were born, right? It's not. It wasn't natural for us. We had to work for it. And so I want to show you guys. I want to talk about how to work for the shrinking, the smaller waistline, the flatter stomach, right? What can we do? What are some tips, right? So, number one, and I talk about this all the time, and I'm going to hit on this even more as we go into the Get Snatched 21 Day Get Snatched Weight Loss Challenge. So, if you haven't joined that already, I don't know what you're waiting for. The link is in the description of this video. It starts October 11th, so that's like less than 2 weeks away. And we are going to go 21 days, meal plans, exercise, all the things to help you get snatched in those 21 days prior to the holidays, right? And we're also going to work on mindset because we've got to change that too. I don't want the yo-yos. We got to get away from the yo-yo. And the way we get away from the yo-yo is working the mindset. So I'm going to be talking about this in the challenge as well, right? And going into even more detail, getting deeper into it. But I want to talk about it here too. So some of the things we got to do when you're thinking about the nutrition piece of it, because nutrition plays a big factor in the stomach getting flat, honestly. Many times our gut and our stomach sticking out has to do with inflammation. It also has to do with our gut health, like essentially like how efficient our gut is, how much is fueling our bodies. Remember, like so many doctors, so many scientists and things are saying it now, right? The gut is like the second brain. Our gut affects so many different things. So if we're not feeding it and treating it the way it needs, what's happening is it inflames, right? So we have inflammation. Many times the stomach, the fat stomach or the rolls, it has to do with the inflammation because of how we're treating our stomach, right? And so, or our bodies, right? What we're eating. So someone may be losing weight, right? Exercising, maybe portion control, whatever it is, losing weight, but still and doing maybe if it's in your macros, right? Or calorie in, calorie out, those types of mindsets for weight loss. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. But what I am saying is if you're going to do that, you got to do it without processed foods. What I will tell you is that, and I've literally experimented on myself with this and my clients, they weren't experimenting, but this is what they were doing, right? I've had clients who went off plan and you could see it in their stomach because when we're eating, things that a bunch of processed foods, a bunch of those fast, like poor carbs, right? And I'm not talking complex carbs. I'm not talking things like sweet potatoes and wild rice and things like that. No, I'm talking like white bread and ice cream, sugars, all those things that inflame us. That's where the stomach comes from, right? So, and people are always like, but I have a cousin who eats whatever she wants and she's always eating blah, blah, and her stomach is flat. Right now it is. But talk to me when your cousin's like 45. I'm telling you, like her stomach will begin to grow. I have cousins like that too. And now they're skinny everywhere else and their stomach sticks out. And they're like, I don't know why my stomach's doing this because of the way you eat, right? We've got to get rid of the processed foods. That's going to really help with the stomach, right? So that's the first tip, right? I always say eat keto because I love the idea of keto, low carb, like reducing those foods that add inflammation. Sugar is like the major adder. It's one of the major things that cause inflammation. So we definitely want to get rid of that, right? Or reduce it as much as we possibly can. And that's going to help that's going to be one of the things going to help for flattening the stomach, right? Because we don't want to just flatten the stomach. We want to see the abs, right? We want the 4-pack, right? Or the 6-pack, whatever that is for you, right? And so again, nutrition, that's where it lives, right? So getting rid of the sugar, reducing the carbs, right? The second thing, and for folks who are just joining, be sure to subscribe and definitely like this video. I also want to let you know I'm here every Wednesday between 1:30 and 2, where I'm going live, and I keep this to about 30 minutes max, right? And if you haven't already, also I've got a weight loss challenge coming up. It's called the Get Snatched Challenge, where we are literally going into how to get snatched, how to snatch the waist, how to flatten the stomach. how to get rid of the back rolls. All of that's coming up, right? Those are the things that we're talking about and pushing toward in this challenge. Okay. So second thing, right? The second thing for flattening the abs is definitely you want to make you do the exercises, right? That's going to help to build out the muscle in there. You got to be eating right in order to shrink it. But then to get the muscles coming out, that's where the exercise comes in, right? That's where you can get that you can see the, the 6-pack or 4-pack or 2-pack even, right? Honestly, when I first saw a 2, I was like, you can't tell me anything, right? Like that's the day I went out and bought a bikini because I had 2 and I'd never had any, So game changer for me. But yeah, you can go in and I want to make sure that everybody understands that, yeah, you can flatten your stomach through again eating right, but then the second thing is exercise. So doing things that are going to strengthen the core, that's going to be important, right? So things like planks are really good for strengthening the core. You can do sit-ups for sure, but I would actually lean into things like bicycles where you're working more of the stomach. You also want to be working like the what is it, the obliques, right? So you want to be doing, bicycles really help the obliques, but also you're getting that top stomach with the bicycles, right? So you're doing that. The other thing, obviously, the planks are hitting every part of the stomach. Flutter kicks get you that lower part of the stomach, right? So you really want to be working different areas in the stomach, right? Throughout your workout, but then also throughout the week. You want to be working all the different areas of the stomach, not just one area, because then that's how you're going to get the waistline that you're looking for. Okay. So again, nutrition is key. Get rid of the processed foods. And then, of course, working the different areas of the stomach. So that's going to be different exercises to work the top abs, the bottom abs, the obliques, the whole thing, right? You want to be working different areas. The third thing I'm going to talk about is keeping your abs engaged. I've got a whole video where I go through step by step, right? But I'm going to give it to you here too. So I've got a video called, I think it's called like Flatten Your Stomach or How I Flatten My Stomach or something like that. I did it earlier this year. So definitely check that out as well. And that's why I say subscribe to the channel. So you're getting this stuff. You're getting the different videos I'm putting out. And right now I'm actually doing a series about the summer things that we did. So the vacations and stuff the family did over the summer, it was amazing. We needed it after last year. But anyways, let me go into number 3. The third thing is keeping your abs engaged. So people kind of take this for granted and don't think to do this. But I remember hearing about this in like the 80s or the 90s, right? When I was a kid, about keeping your abs engaged while you're, throughout the day. So whether you're going for a walk, whether you're sitting at your desk working, keep your core engaged. If you're doing that, that means you're always working the core no matter what you're doing. So especially like you're doing it throughout the day, but especially when you're exercising. So when you're doing squats, your core should be engaged. That means keeping your core tight, right? Like literally paying attention to it. Sometimes just paying attention to it helps, but also you can tighten it. So if you're tightening your core while you're doing the squats, what you're doing is now in those squats, you're also working your core, right? When you're doing bicep curls, abs engaged, because what that's doing is it's forcing your body to, it's forcing your core to strengthen throughout and be worked throughout your exercise. When your core is strong, it helps you in every other workout or exercise type of exercise that you do. A stronger core ensures that you're not using your core when you're doing things like squats, when you're doing things like what was the thing I was thinking of? I can't even think of it, but it doesn't matter. Whatever other exercise you're doing, we tend to lean into other body parts when we are weaker in one, right? And many times it ends up affecting our back. We end up leaning into our back so much when we're doing different exercises. So by strengthening your core, you're going to help strengthen your back, right? Because we're talking about flattening your stomach, but that also comes into strengthening it, right? So it needs to be strong in order to really be flat, right? And also, the stronger it is, the more fat it can burn around it, right? So you definitely want to keep your core engaged no matter what you're doing. So like literally right now, while I'm doing this video, my core is engaged because it always is, right? I'm always keeping it engaged because that's how I work it, right? Number 4, fourth tip, right? And this is like one of the tips that I love, one of the main tips that I love to give, right? When I'm working out, I use a sweat vest. So it's something that like around the stomach just to make it sweat a little more. It's adding a little heat to it. And when we add more heat to that area, it's going to work that area a little more. Also, it's going to help us to notice the area more. So it keeps our mind on that area. And when we're doing that, it allows us to work and tighten that area. Helps us to remember to tighten the core and keep the core engaged while we're working out. So it's a good idea to wear it. And I'm not talking waist trainer. There's a difference between a sweat vest and a waist trainer. A sweat vest is fitting, right? It fits you. It feels good. You could wear it all day if you wanted to. A waist trainer is tight and kind of hurts. I'm not talking a waist trainer. I think it's tight. It looks tight and it seems like it hurts. That's why I assume waist trainers. But a sweat vest, it's literally just like neoprene, right? That you're wearing around your waist, and it allows you it brings more heat and energy to that area. And what it does is, because of that extra heat and energy, it allows you to focus on it more. It adds more sweat to it, which helps to burn the fat. So that is always a good idea. So those are kind of the 5 things that are going to help you to shrink your waist and flatten your stomach as you're losing the weight. Because I know this. I will tell you this about me. I did not want to be the person who lost the weight and my stomach was still sticking out or rolling, right? Because my stomach did this. I'm not even kidding. That's what my stomach looked like. At least that's how I that's how I envisioned. That's what I call it, right? It was just these rolls. And it wasn't like it was one roll. It was like roll, 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 right? Like even the picture here, that was after I'd lost like 40 pounds, right? I think I'd lost like 40 pounds by the time, maybe even more by the time I took that picture. I think in that picture I was like 290, right? So I had been, my highest was like 340, somewhere in there. I would say somewhere between 330 and 350, because I don't know where it was, because I didn't really, like, I stopped getting on the scale after 330. So it was somewhere in there. And after that, like, and at that time I was rolling. Like, that was what my stomach looked like. And then I began to do these tricks and these tools, right? Use these steps, right, in order to flatten my stomach. And so I actually had less rolls even in the picture I just showed. And you can see it. Like, I've got other pictures. There's a picture of me in this red dress where you can literally see every roll. Oh gosh, I don't even, anyway. So when you're thinking about that, again, going through the tips, it's nutrition, right? Nutrition is going to be so important. And again, we go through this heavily in the 21-day Get Snatched challenge. So if you have not joined already, be sure to join that challenge. If you've not seen my clients yet, go to my Instagram, Keto Mommy Makeover on Instagram, and just click on clients, and you'll see different clients that I've had, and you'll see how their waistlines have changed. I'm like, because I always tell people, I'm like, yeah, I've done it, but don't just believe me. Like, I want you to see the other people that I've helped, so you can see that this isn't just a me thing. These are literally steps that you can take to flatten your stomach, because you'll see that my clients have flattened their stomachs, right? Like, that's something I take pride in when I'm thinking about my program, my Keto Mommy Makeover program, right? It's different from other programs. And what makes it different is the stomach, right? I'm all about flattening the stomach. I want you to lose the weight, obviously, too. But I want you to get that flat stomach, because I know my people, right? My people, and you are my people. My people have wanted to wear a bikini for so long and have not been able to wear a bikini. And the reason is because they didn't want to show their stomach, right? They could have wore a bikini. I mean, we see people who wear a bikini, don't have a flat stomach, and that's fine. But most of my people are similar to me. They tend to be similar to me in that way, where I was not going to wear a bikini until my stomach was bikini ready, right? And I didn't believe my stomach would ever be bikini ready. And then it was. And these are the steps that I took to get it bikini ready. So and the thing is, you can have these steps, right? I'm giving them to you for free, but I'm going to tell you, you want the accountability, the support, the additional guidance that I give in this challenge. So if you have not joined, I'm going to put the link down here for the challenge, so you can join, right? And it's called the 21-day Get Snatched challenge. It starts October 11th. I'll be talking about it next week as well, but you want to get into this challenge also now, before the price goes up, because October 2nd, the price goes up for sure. Um, There we go. Yeah, fit challenge. So ketomommakeover.com/fit challenge. I think, is that clickable? I don't know if that's clickable or not, but that's the link, right? And so yeah. So when we're talking, I would love, if you guys have any questions or anything, definitely ask. I'm here every Wednesday. I start somewhere between 1:30 and 2. And I usually stay around 30 minutes. And so oh, perfect. Thank you so much, Jessica. I didn't know if it was clickable. I was like, shoot, is it? But I used to run challenges like every month, starting from like 2019 on. I used to run challenges every month. And I was going for it. And then about a year after Corona, I think it was like halfway into Corona, my business started growing in other areas. So I needed to focus on that. And I knew I wouldn't have the time to give to the folks in the challenge the way I wanted to. So I was like, and everyone kept asking, like, when are you going to do another challenge? When are you going to do another challenge? And I was like, oh, I'm trying to plan one. I'm trying to plan one. But I just literally didn't have the time. Because the thing is, I don't like to do things if I can't give you my all, if I can't focus on it, if I can't give you what you need. And so when I host these challenges, I'm here, right? I'm giving you what you need. We are in our community, we are in our group. You're getting meal plans, workout plans, right? And not just regular workout plans, but things you can actually do. You're following along with me. It's a video, right? It's workout videos, and it's leg day, arm day. Like, we're going for it. So I want to show you things that you can do to truly achieve your goals. And I always say the proof is in the pudding. Go to my Instagram and you'll see my clients. Even go to any of my videos, like in my opening header, or whatever, opening credits for the videos. I show my clients progress, or my clients weight loss transformations too, because I think it's important, right, to show what's been done. But yeah, you're getting meal plans, workout plans. I'm showing you how to eat in the healthiest way possible. So basically, looking at whole foods, and eating like really, really paying attention to your nutrition. And we do keto, right? But then there's people in the group who just do low carb, which is fine too. And then we also have weekly Q&As. So every week we get on and we talk about, what questions do you have? And I always am training on something, because the thing is, in any challenge that I do, and especially now, I focus heavily on mindset, because for this challenge, the main thing for this 21 days is we're going to be focusing on healthy eating and exercise, but also focusing on changing the relationship with food and changing the mindset, so that as we go into the holidays, we know that we have what it takes to push through the holidays, right? And I'm not saying that you can't have food, you can't eat on the holidays. I'm saying you have the mindset and you're ready to say, oh, I've had enough. You know, oh, I had some collard greens and maybe some stuffing dressing, and I had some turkey, and I had some, whatever it is you're having. Even if you had a slice of pie, right? Pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie, whichever ones you eat, right? I actually like both, but whichever one you eat, you can have that. But you're not eating the whole pie. Like, that's the difference with the mindset, right? That's the difference when we change your relationship with food. It doesn't mean you can't have any. It just means that you're not going in abundance, right? And that's what we look at. So I want to prepare you so that when the holidays come, okay, I'm going to eat what I need to eat and I'm going to be done. You're not sitting there like, oh, I can't wait to eat all this, this food, right? Because that's kind of where we get to in the holidays, like, whew, I cannot wait, right? And it's like, that shouldn't be our mindset around food. Food is fuel, but food is also good, right? We can enjoy it, but we don't have to make it everything, right? It doesn't have to be our entire lives. We don't have to be thinking about it 24/7. And so that's what we work on in the challenge, is how do we change the mindset when it comes to food so that we can do this long term. So yeah, definitely you want to join that challenge. I got the link in the description, or in the chat here, and also the description of this video, because we're going in, right? I think it's so important to change the mindset around our entire bodies. When we're looking at, how to flatten our stomach, we got to look at what can we change in the way that we're eating in order to have that flat stomach, right? In order to have what we want. How do we get that full time? Because there's so many people, and there's so many of us out here who have, lost weight and, been really excited about it and made those changes, but made those changes for a time, didn't make it a lifestyle. So I want to teach you how to make it a lifestyle so that you're doing it for the long term, so that that forever I can eat like this. And it doesn't mean that I have to give up ice cream forever or give up, whatever it is forever. It just means that I know how to do it now and it doesn't control me, you know? Because I will tell you something, for me, food controlled me for so long. Like I'd wake up thinking about what I was going to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, excited about this meal, excited about that meal, like all those things. And we can still enjoy a meal, be excited about an experience, those types of things. But when we let it control us to the point where, where we can't even think outside of it, or where we can't say no to things or say, I've had enough, that's when it becomes an issue, right? And it stems back for most people. I've talked, if you've ever watched any of my lives, or I talk all the time about how, my first diet was when I was 8 years old, right? And so from that point on, the relationship with food was completely damaged. And so when I look at that and I think about today, I still have to work through all of those things, right? And every day I'm working through it. Um, Jessica says, yes, you're right. It's so true, right? It goes back to when we were kids many times, or whenever it happened where the relationship was changed forever, right? And so in doing that, I had to really work on the mindset so that moving forward, as I'm eating, exercise, whatever it is I'm doing, I can look at, okay, you know what? My favorite thing is right here, brownies, right? I love brownies. If you ever watched my video, I have a video where I lost 30 pounds in 30 days. And I talk about how I gained weight because of brownies, essentially. Like brownies have always been my thing. But in order to lose that 30 pounds when I did it in 30 days, I had to change my mindset. Like I had to really work on the mindset around food, my relationship with food, so that when I see brownies, I'm not like, oh, I've got to have all of them. You know, if I want to have one, I can have one now and I can be good with that one. Whereas at that time, and this was end of 2018, I think, at that time, if I had one, I had to have them all. If brownies were even around, I had to eat them all. And that's just not how we need to be, right? That's not how we function well. So I want to show you, and I'm going to show you in this challenge, this 21-day Get Snatched challenge. That's what I'm calling it. 21-day Get Snatched weight loss challenge, right? And you can join it. It's right. The link is in the chat and also in the description of this video. But I show you how to change the relationship with food. And we really dig into the mindset. There's homework, all that stuff. We dig into the mindset so that we can change the relationship with food long term, right? So that when you get to Thanksgiving and Christmas this year, you don't have that 10-pound gain that the average American has, right? So there's studies where the average weight gain in the U.S. during from Thanksgiving to Christmas, I think, or Thanksgiving to New Year's is 10 pounds. So most people gain about 10 pounds, right? You can not only avoid that, but you can actually lose weight during that time. Because people don't gain weight on Christmas Day. They don't gain weight on Thanksgiving Day. They gain weight the before and the after, right? Because I mean, yeah, you eat on Thanksgiving, but you could have 5,000 calories on Thanksgiving. That's not going to affect you. I mean, that's not going to mean that you're going to keep all that weight for the rest of the year. No. What's going to happen is you have the 5,000 on Thanksgiving, whatever you have on Thanksgiving, and then the next day you're eating leftovers, and the day after that you're eating something. And so now every day it's like Christmas cookies and all these different things start adding up, and that's where the 10 pounds comes from. But when we work together, right? In the challenge, when we talk about when you change the mindset around food, when you change your mindset overall and change your relationship with food, then that 10 pounds doesn't happen. And so that's what we talk about. That's really what we focus on. And also, you can even see people like that before and after. Like if you look at them at before Halloween and then January 1st, you can see like the stomach has come out, right? All of a sudden. And what that is, like we talked about at the beginning, it's inflammation, right? It's all the processed food, which added to inflammation. It's all the sugar that added to inflammation. And it's just eating the things that are not helpful to the body. And so now the body is inflamed. It doesn't know. The gut is like, what the heck are you doing to me? Right. And so now the body is like, okay, what now? So that's what we're going to be talking about, and I'm actually going to go into it a little more next week on our live session as well. So I'll be back on live next week, next Wednesday, between 1:30 and 2. So excited to be here. I love coming on live. I'm so glad that I'm back to doing these weekly lives. I've also got a video coming out tomorrow. Disney. We went to Disney this summer, so I'm talking about Disney and what we ate, what we did, how we prepared for it, all those things. And then what else? Oh, we've got the challenge coming out. So if you haven't joined the challenge, definitely check that out. It's ketomommakeover.com/fit-challenge. And so, or you can go to my Instagram and you can get the link there as well. But I will be back next week. I love you guys. I love doing this. I missed YouTube. I haven't been back in a while, so I'm so glad to be back. And I will see you guys soon. I'll talk to y'all later. All right, take care.